Hello everyone. This is not a video I was expecting to make, but I woke up this morning and saw something that it just inspired me. I feel like this video is mostly going to be therapy. I'm of course talking about the announcement of a new Metal Gear game. I'm gonna try to be as logical as possible here. It would be really easy to just scream and yell about everything, but as much of a fan of the series as I am, I know what's going on here. First, before I discuss the actual game, I would say that if you asked me, several months ago, what I thought Konami would do next with Metal Gear, I would say a Ubisoft sequel. And what I mean by that is something like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, or Revelations, or Rogue, I think it was called. I never played that one. What I mean by this is you take all these assets and this engine and this general game, this whole game that a different team made, and then you basically just make something that's like that, but with a few minor changes. So essentially, I think we would get a game that plays very much like Phantom Pain. It's just really uninteresting because it's the same thing again. But what we're getting is something I couldn't have predicted. It's something much, much worse. Maybe it isn't the worst thing they could have possibly done, but it's pretty bad. When I think of the most overplayed thing in gaming today, one of the things that pops up is cooperative survival, and especially zombies. I think zombies have gotten so uninteresting in pop culture, and you see this in games too. There are games that try to put a new spin on it, and I just don't think that it's been terribly successful. And they're just showing up more and more, and it's a big thing is to take something that's not a zombie and make it a zombie. You know, these creatures we've seen in this trailer, I don't think they're technically zombies, but we're going to call them that. The people who were infected by the parasites in 5 weren't zombies, but they basically acted just like them, so they're zombies. That game, it wasn't super egregious because they weren't really a big part of the game. The actual skulls were more interesting. They weren't really zombies. They kind of moved a little like them. I'm getting a little off track though. Zombie survival is a really played out thing. We've seen so much of it. I mean, let's just go back to Call of Duty. That's about 10 years ago. World at War introduced Nazi Zombies mode, and that was a 4-player cooperative thing. And for the better part of a decade, they've been putting those into Call of Duty games. Sometimes even releasing it as DLC because it wasn't included in the main game. Because it's so popular, or it's in such demand. Obviously, you have things like Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead, I would say, is the other big influence in this thing. But zombies are so uninteresting to me personally, and I think a lot of other people are probably really tired of it as well. So to see them take the Metal Gear name and do this is very discouraging, because if you think about it, let's say they are just taking the foundations. They have the engine, they have the controls as they were set up in Phantom Pain and many of the systems. I think a lot of us would probably want to play a 4-player cooperative Phantom Pain. That actually sounds interesting. If this was that, I would at least be a little more interested in it. Obviously, I have no intention of buying it. I don't think I'd buy this game in any state on principle, but we'll get back to that a little later. It's just been kind of fascinating watching it. It's really bizarre. They've made some really bizarre choices. I wonder if those choices were made because they thought it was, oh, Kojima would have done this because it's weird and bizarre. But literally taking people who died in the ending of Ground Zeroes, who were nameless characters, and saying they get sucked into a portal to an alternate dimension where it's just a desert and there's zombies. Like, come on. Really? The funny thing is, this reminds me, there was an interview that Kojima did. He was talking about, if they ever did a Revengeance 2. And he just said, oh, I would like a Revengeance 2 where you play as Grey Fox and he fights nanomachine zombies. I don't know if that was just something he said off the cuff. I don't think it was a great idea. That's what this game reminds me of, though. It reminds me of that idea of, it's pretty easy just from the trailer to see the reuse of assets. The big cover that they have that looks like Planet of the Apes with the destroyed Mother Base. I mean, that's literally the model of the command platform from the Diamond Dogs base in Phantom Pain. So they couldn't even get that right, which I thought was really funny. The characters are obviously all Diamond Dogs people, so it probably wasn't too hard to just take the models and tweak them a little. At least they had a bow and arrow, and that was new, but I don't really see the point of that, other than I guess it's a survival game, so we have to have a bow and arrow. I mean, it's tough to actually judge the game. I say this about a lot of things. It's tough to judge the game when we really didn't see the game. But I think we saw enough that we know the general direction that they're trying to go in, and we've seen enough to know that it is obviously the wrong direction. This is definitely a cash grab. That's why they took such a played out concept, and they've decided we're just going to do this with Metal Gear now. I mean, but really, who is this game for? Because I don't think general audiences have ever associated the Metal Gear name with stuff like this, so it just seems like it's not going to be effective at picking up new people. And really, I don't know how much advertising there will be for this game. Honestly, it reminds me a lot of Umbrella Corps. The Resident Evil series, I think, is also very confused, and Umbrella Corps, I think, represents the lowest of the low for that series. They just had no idea what they were doing. They were just using the name and there's some zombies to try to do something different. And maybe it would have worked if it wasn't Resident Evil, but that game has like really bad reviews. I've obviously never played it. But that's what this game reminds me of. A team that has literally no idea what to do. They're just trying to go with as many modern trends as they can think of. And it's a shame. I think the Fox engine was an amazing piece of technology, and it's really disappointing that it's now in the hands of people who are probably complete hacks. I hope that this game just kind of goes away. I really don't want to see anything more. I just want it to disappear. But we know it's coming out, supposedly sometime next year. I hope it's just a quick, cheap-ass, catch grab, and they're trying to get money out of microtransactions or something like that. I just can't see this being a fully fledged game, but they might try to do that too. They might try to sell this to us for $60. It's not something I want to play. I would only ever play it if I literally was able to not spend any money on it. And that might be interesting to do just to see. I don't know. I think that would just be really painful to do. So I'll say for now, don't anticipate any content on this channel after this pertaining to Metal Gear Survival. I mean, really, what do you even call this? What's the acronym for this game? Because MGS, we already have. I mean, there's a couple V's in the Survival, so they could call it MGSV. Oh, no, but they can't do that either, so I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna call this game officially. Is it weird that the pachinko machine, kind of looks better than this game? I feel bad. That sounds like a really mean thing to say, but it's kind of true. I haven't really looked online at much since that trailer came out. I decided I was just going to make this really fast. All I gotta say is, to the people who are mad, try and get in contact with some of those people who downvoted the shit out of the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer. Try to get your friends who downvoted the shit out of the Color Splash trailer or the Federation Force trailer. Go find this trailer and just do that, because this is a game that I think really genuinely deserves it a lot more, because there are politics behind this game, and the removal of Kojima and his staff, and just it feels like theft. And I don't expect him to make any comment on this game or anything like that, but this is really a huge problem, and I just wish that there was some kind of protection for people in the industry from things like this. I mean, he is obviously successful enough that he's able to continue making games at a new studio because he's got those connections and people want to see him succeed. But Joe Schmo, who just makes 3D models for some company who gets laid off or whatever, and he did his job, he doesn't have protection. I wanted to pursue a career in games development, and it always was kind of a dream. And stories like the Kojima's firing and the collapse of Konami are reasons why I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. And I know people who are looking for jobs in the industry, and they've gone to school to learn these things, and I worry about them. Because stuff like this is not right, and people who work in the industry deserve better, especially in Japan. Those guys, we really don't know a lot about how the game industry works there, and so stories like this, they're very damning. But I think this is a controversy. This is an evolving controversy, and I don't think it should go away. If this new game can be used as an excuse to just keep hammering Konami on everything they've done wrong, then just keep doing it, alright? This is a game where this needs to happen. Please, if you're watching this for some reason and you don't know anything about Metal Gear, and like you're thinking about buying this game, please don't. There's so many games just like this that you can probably get right now. I can't stress it enough. Please don't support this. And just say everything you can to let Konami know. I know it's not gonna make a difference, you know, it's gonna come out no matter what. But I think that this is really a new low in the industry as a whole, and it just can't be ignored. So I think that's everything I wanted to say. It's kind of like blowing off steam. I'm sorry there haven't been any longer videos. I've had plans to do a review for a while. All of the footage for the game is recorded, and I'd say that the script is about half done. It's all outlined. I would really love to get the time to put it together properly. But for now, I guess this is gonna have to do. That's why I did the E3 video. I just figured it would be a quick thing to get out there. I have also had plans to do another Fast Impressions video. I was trying to avoid doing them. I've played a lot of games. I've avoided doing videos because I felt like I just did too many in a row. But there's another game that's coming out very soon, and if things work out, I will do a Fast Impressions on that game, so potentially stay tuned for that. But I'd like to get something out longer first. Have a nice day.